Howdy folks, I hope you're well. Good to have you here. Sorry for the delay in starting. I was just checking everything was working and it wasn't quite working, so hence the delay. But hopefully everybody can see me now. I can see we've got people on. I'm keen to make sure that people can see, I can see people's comments in the group. So if you're watching in the group, just send me a message to make sure that I can see you in the group and make sure the comments are coming in. Not entirely sure if that problem has been fixed or not in the group, but I think everything else is working all good, so we can crack on. Just give me a second, and I'm making sure that everybody can hear me. There we go. Welcome to Paul Graham, Ronald Fearings, Thomas O'Connor. Thank you for joining. And sure enough, I can't see people's comments in the group. Evening, Paul Graham. I hope you're well. So I'm going to monitor groups. I've got the group chat open. We've got the group chat open. So for some reason that's not working right. So hopefully we will be able to see everybody's in the groups. Everybody's comments in the groups. It's weird, it's a bug. Chris Williams, I hope you're well. Between the group and the page on RPI, we get most people viewing. So like last week, I don't want to miss people's comments in the group, so that's why I'm just messing around quickly now to make sure that we don't miss people's comments. If you can page on RPI, that's me monitoring the group. So I can monitor groups. All good. Let's crack on. So yeah, approaching the finish of week 2 of lockdown. How's everybody doing with it? It's I find myself saying it every week. Weird times indeed. And they just seem to be getting weirder, really. Like I said last week, I don't think that we are going to be seeing this situation that we've got in the UK, well, probably everywhere in the world, really. I don't think we're going to see this end next week. Based on everything I've been watching and looking at, I can see this going on for a considerable while. If you follow what Italy is doing, Italy's now hitting day 40 of it, and they're not approaching anytime soon being stopped from the lockdown. Can hear everything twice. Can other people hear everything twice? Let me test and monitor myself 1 second. The lockdown. Can hear everything twice. Maybe Darren Gray. Are you? You're not watching it on 2 things, are you, mate? I can't. I'm monitoring myself on my phone, and I can't hear myself on it. So I'm not sure what's going on with that, Darren. But apologies for any problems you've got. Yeah, so like I say, I think it's going to go on for a while longer. Personally, if I had to guess, I think we'll be a month and a half plus of this. Let's see what people are commenting and who's tuning in. Dishal Rashul, Wayne Conway, welcome Wayne, Freddie Pro, Andy, pleased to see you back on, mate. Nice for you to be here. Ronald Fewing say every day is like a Sunday, only quieter. True when you're out, I guess it is. Yeah, it is. John Angwin, welcome John. Lorraine Butler, evening from Lorraine and Andy. Carl Donald is watching. How you doing, Carl? Hope you're all right, mate. Simon Woolley says, I've lost what day it is. Gives you time to think, to do things down the loft. Chris Williams says, absolutely. Sean Wilkinson's watching. Thomas Harrington, perfect here. Stephen O'Brien's watching. Tracy Ronnie Nickling's watching. Welcome Ronnie and Tracy, and Chris Williams says good here. Okay, thank you for confirming that everybody can hear all right, and Zandy's watching as well. Tom Power says it's cleared now, the echo. Thanks, great. So yeah, it's just unprecedented. You know, you can keep hearing all the narratives you hear if you follow the news. You can keep hearing the narratives. It is unprecedented times. Obviously, people many years ago through the wars have experienced things far worse. But for our generation and this generation, you know, nobody's seen anything like this. And it's like I was saying to Zandy, you know, hopefully you won't see anything like this ever again. But I definitely think we're in for a longer haul. And like I said last week, if I'm absolutely honest, not a massive amount personally of my life is actually changed, inhibited that much, if I'm really honest. Yes, I have to go, and you can't go and get things you would normally want. There's delays. You've got to obviously queue at supermarkets. You've got to, you know, queue at places and what have you. But like I said, you know, we got Gabby working from home. Zandy's here for however long, and apart from being able to go and train my Luca dog on a Friday, I try and spend as much time as I can working in front of a computer anyway. So not a massive difference, but I realise I'm lucky in that way that it's not a massive difference, you know, makes a massive difference. And there's a lot of people suffering, but what I do think it'll do is it'll actually change. I think a lot of things after we come out of this will change. I think people will realise the benefits of working from home. I think people will appreciate more things, actually. I think people will appreciate more simple things, like, you know, food has become an issue, and in a country, developed country like we are, it makes you realise what's important. And I think things will change. I think there'll be some mentality change. I think businesses will change, and certainly from a racing pigeon point of view, I think this year is going to be an absolute nightmare. If I'm honest, my gut feeling is it's going to be a nightmare, and that's not being. I like to think myself that I'm not a pessimist in any way. I think I'm being realistic. Also, I've got some comments coming in on. I think comments are coming in, Jeffrey, on my own page as well. I've got comments coming in from Facebook. Yeah, I think that's all right. I think it's just the group that the comments are not showing, which really does my head in, to be honest. But anyway. Yeah, so look, you know, realistically, and again, I haven't spoken to anybody about it, but I just can't see old bird racing happening. I just can't see it happening. We'll see. Who knows? And if I hear anything before, I'll sure to let you know. Let's just see who else is watching. Jonathan Parrott's watching. Jeffrey Abel's watching. I'll come back to some other comments. Yeah, the page comments are coming through, Jeffrey. Thank you. Anyway, thanks for all the help. Kyle Douglas is watching. Evening to you, Kyle. Right, we'll come back to comments in a little while. Ashley Steer says there won't be any racing this year at all, in my opinion. Unfortunately, you might be right, Ashley. Has Boris Johnson really been put into ICU? Wow, Fabian. Oh, Simon Woolley said that as well. Yeah. Wow. He's been put into intensive care. Wow. Wow. Like I said, wheel times. It's just broke on Sky News. Thank you for those that have been saying. Right. We'll come back to it. Let's do comments now, guys. And yeah, I can see that, Jonathan. I got Sky News on in the background. That's not good at all. Susan Lamb says, what are people doing with birds being split? Do they let them see each other once a week or not bother at all? Let's get some feedback on that for you, Susan. So Susan's asking, what do people do with birds being split? Do they let them see each other once a week or not at all? Any comments on that for Susan would be greatly appreciated. Tom Powers says he's responding to that. Tom, on a personal front, birds are separated and will stay that way until either racing starts or ready for breeding next year. And there's a good person to hear from, because Tom knows what he's doing. Thank you for responding to that, Tom. Right, let's catch up on some comments that are also coming in. Kevin Frail, evening to you. I hope you're well. Fabian says he's jumped over the page. It wasn't pulling in comments from my personal profile. Thank you for telling me that, Fabian. Ronald Few says the property market will hit a slump. I would have to agree. I think a worldwide recession is definitely on the cards, and the stock exchange. This is just 1 second. Let me get the bone off. No, he's got it onto his bed now. This is obviously RPILIVE and pigeon focused, but I think my comment to that would be, Ronald, that and thank you to the 88 people that are watching. Thank you for that, and please remember to share out and let people know that we're on live, and share to any friends that you think may be interested in watching. Again, nothing to do with pigeons, but we're talking about wider pictures than pigeons as well on the show, which is the right thing to do. My personal opinion is the stock exchange is going to have another massive hit. And again, for anybody interested, the same opinion of the Bitcoin currency as well, which some of you may know is my business. I think we're going to have another massive hit there. both the stock exchange and the cryptocurrency markets have gone up a little bit. I think it's false. I think it's a lot of, within the cryptocurrency stuff, it's manipulation. That's just my personal opinion. Simon Woolley says it's a bad situation and taking no prisoners. Boris has just been rushed into care, as we discussed. Evening Mark, Gary Robson says, even Mark, the birds are out once a day and fed once a day after exercising. Look and handle well on 1 1/4 ounce of corn. The thing I've noticed is you've really overfeed your birds. Interesting that. Interesting. That's probably an issue that a few people have, I would imagine. Stephen O'Brien says, how's the new loft going? I will show you a few pictures in a little while, Stephen. Sharon Martin Sean Crocker says, evening everybody. Welcome. Ashley Steer says there won't be any racing in this year at all, in my opinion. Let's hope you're wrong, like I said. Let's hope there's some young bird racing, but I would definitely agree on old bird as how things are going. Lorraine Butler, how's One Loft Racing going? Not heard anything. With regards to One Loft Racing globally, obviously, One Loft Racing is heavily affected by the transportation or the lack of transportation with livestock not being able to happen. And that's a serious issue, you know, and that's a worrying issue. Realistically, obviously, the deadlines for various races are different around the world, but certainly for European races, I don't think there's going to be that much. Well, there's probably going to be no transportation of international races for pigeons going between countries, because I just can't see it. Within the UK and specifically the Who Dares Wins race, I can see that a lot of UK flyers that had pigeons ready to go overseas can quite welcome to put into the Who Dares Wins race. Gary still has some spots left. He's over 700. Last time I spoke to him on Friday, over 700 birds. 800 birds in the loft, and there's still some spaces left. And I think what he'll lose on international birds coming in because they're just not able to come in, I think hopefully he'll gain from UK people that have got birds left over that were due to go into overseas races. We'll see. Let's see who else we've got. Bill Buxton said, in my opinion, young birds could well be okay. Again, young birds, Bill Buxton, you know, we're looking at July, so let's see. We just don't know, do we? Hopefully. Let's say hopefully. I'd really like to think that by that time, young birds will be able to be racing. And Bill thinks that no old birds will race. And I think that's probably an accurate thing, Bill. We've got 85 people watching. Again, thank you to everybody. And please share to let people know we're live. We're 2 weeks after the break, the enforced break of moving house, bad internet connections and whatever. But we are back, so it's good for people to know that we're back. We've got Chris Williams says he's watching the news now as well as this. That's multitasking, Chris. I like that. Lorraine Butler says, so sad and no keep apart to Susan's question. Stephen O'Brien says, I think Boris is in ICU for the fact he's Prime Minister. He would, of course, have the top priority. Yeah, you're probably right there. Chris Davies says, I hope we have any age racing. Old birds 1 week, young birds next, weekend after would be positive. That was an interesting, I think you brought that up. Was it you that brought that up last week, Chris? That's an interesting idea, and technically I don't know any reason why that couldn't work. Maybe somebody does know a reason why it couldn't work, but it's an interesting approach, because from my understanding, technically, from a logistical point of view, there's no reason why old bird racing can't be put back and then split between 1 week young birds, 1 week old birds, etc. It's a good point. I'm hoping to catch up. I've been speaking to Ian Evans via WhatsApp, just keep in touch with him, and I am hoping to speak to him. I've asked him to come on the show again at some point, which he's going to do. By the way, talking of the show, next week, Richard Chambers from the RPRA, the development officer of the RPRA, is coming on the show next week. So look forward to that, to get Richard Chambers on and talk about everything that he's been doing. Let's catch up on the group chat. Racing young birds maybe, but when they can be trained. If you cannot train them, how can you race them? My young birds have not been out yet. No need to feed the birds of prey till we need to. Yeah. Not a great point of view, but very accurate, Jonathan. The reality is. And Chris Davis, like old birds, yeah. I really do think it could be split up. Simon Woolley said, if we went ahead and had a combined old bird young bird race, should we have 2 results, one for old and one for young? Yeah, they should be split. Again, technically, I don't know any reason why that couldn't happen. You have young bird results and you have an old bird results. You're just alternating them and you're pushing it all back. Don't see any reason why not. Paul Graham says, old birds start molting, they will be in pieces by August. Valid point, Paul. Chris Davis says, loft ride them till ban lifted. If we do race, there's talk of old birds midweek and young on Saturdays where I live. That's Gaz Pigeon Hall saying that. Interesting. Let's catch up on the group chat. Racing together on the same day, no problem, Kevin Farrell says. And Susan Lamb replied to Tom saying thanks. Stephen O'Brien says, is it possible at all to try and have 2 shows per week just while we're in lockdown to give us something to look forward to, or maybe get a guest on one of the nights to talk about their systems? Realistically, Stephen, the answer is no, unfortunately. I can't commit to 2 shows a week at the moment with everything else going on. And guests, I want to get guests on. We've got Richard Chambers next week, and I want to get more guests on. Like I said, sometimes it seems to be quite hard to get them on. Yeah. But what I will say is I am going to do my best to do more impromptu lives during the week. If I'm honest with you, personally, I'm in a bit of a catch-up mode, and I'm way behind. I'm a bit stressed by it, actually. I started to actually catch up on all my Facebook stuff this afternoon and ran out of time. I haven't finished it yet, but that's the next thing I'm doing. I'm not doing anything else until that's done. So I'm going to do impromptu lives. I'm going to do pigeon-related ones on the RPI page, Facebook page, and the group. And I'm going to do all the ones on my personal profile and my Mark Lyford page. And I will commit to doing that. I will commit to doing impromptu lives, not specific times. But yeah, so I can't commit to do 2 shows. And if I'm absolutely honest with you, Stephen, I'm not entirely sure with no racing going on that 2 shows would work out very well at the moment. But I will commit to doing impromptu lives. And I will be doing some impromptu lives the further down the progression of the lofts that we're setting up do, just to show people as well. So there's more stuff to come, and I hope that's all right with you. John Palokas says, after my talk with you last Monday regards the cost of as my son is starting up, you said there will be a lot of people following your program. You were spot on, and I was offered many young birds from top fancies free of charge. Many thanks. God bless, John. That's really great to hear, John. I'm glad. We do have a lot of people follow this. We have lots of people watching it live, but also we have lots of people catching up with it afterwards. And so great. Thank you to everybody that offered John young birds. That's excellent. So you've got your young bird set up. You and your son have got set up. That's really great to hear, John. Excellent. Well done. And thank you to everybody that offered those to John. Dulshad said we could raise 5 old birds, 5 young birds. Maybe. Could do a little bit longer than that, maybe. Simon Woolley said, have you had your haircut recently before the lockdown or got a secret barber? Well, Simon, actually, this hair is getting too long for me. So I was due one this week. I was lucky that I had one a few days before the lockdown, and I have absolutely no idea what I'm going to do during lockdown. So no, I don't have a secret barber. I wish I did, but I don't. So we'll see. Watch this space. I might come on next week and just have a full cut, full buzz cut. We'll see. Melvin Horn says, hi Mark, like you, I think maybe Youngbird Racing in North and Suffolk CC, all of our races are any age, and in Youngbird season we get a lot of old hens race. So this may be. Yeah, maybe. Lorraine Butler says, well done, John. Gabby, who told me she was continuing to work because she's been stressed all day about deadlines she's got to meet, obviously is watching me from the kitchen and says, Mally. So for those of you who don't know, Mally is our golden retriever, who's one of the most loveliest dogs, but one of the dumbest dogs you've ever met. And we've got clippers for him, and we clipped him last week because he was getting way too hot and way too long. And my girlfriend kindly suggested that we can get the dog clippers out on my hair. So, yeah, we'll see. It might come to that. 0.5 all the way over, Martin. And Sean Cocker says, a sponsored shave, Simon Woolley. I wonder what it would look like with no hair. Full baldy, or maybe a number 1 all over. We'll see. Let's see who else we've got. Gary Thomason says, can transporters accommodate the birdies for old and young birds together? I very much doubt it. Which, yeah, that's a valid point, Gary. But like I said, if we split it 1 week, other week, 1 week old birds, 1 week young birds, that could sort that out. And Kyle Douglas has got a very valid point. If they did midweek racing, wouldn't work for people who work. Absolutely, that's a very valid point. Like I said last week, midweek racing's all well and good, but assuming birds are flying again, that means lockdowns not in force anymore. And it's a very valid point about people at work. Some federations can do it, not all, but some can. Kevin Farrell says, shave the lot off, Kevin Farrell says. Thank you for the vote to shave it all off, Kevin. I had the dog clippers on the beard already, Jonathan Parrott says. And how was that for you, Jonathan? I don't know how I'd look with no hair or little. I'll be honest with you, I had a number 2 all over once, and I looked bloody horrendous many years ago for various reasons that I won't go into now. I had a number 2 all over. I was mortified when I looked in the mirror. I don't know, we'll see. Maybe I'll just go long haired to cover the fat face up. Stephen O'Brien says it'll be interesting to see the online sales if there's no racing, as many fancies having old birds and young birds with no racing there. Old bird team next year will be considerably bigger than normal and loft space limited. We sell. I think there's a big reason the sport is going downhill. I think the economics of racing pigeons and the sport in general will be heavily affected by this whole thing. And again, unprecedented times, and I think the sport's going to see some major shifts all ways round. You know, clubs and federations are not going to be racing. That's going to affect their balance sheets. From an overheads point of view, clubs and feds don't have that many overheads. Most clubs and feds don't have overheads to where obviously a business still has overheads, but ultimately I think it's going to seriously affect, obviously, the next 12 months. The whole economics, the whole business, the whole sport is going to be seriously affected, as obviously every other part of the world and businesses. Mickey Brown's joined. Welcome, Mickey. So, yeah. Simon Woolley, can we all afford to race? If I'm self-employed, I can't see when the money will come in. Big valid point again. For people that have been affected, there's a whole gap of people that are still affected despite the government trying their best to help out. And it's seriously affecting everybody's finances. And it's a valid, very valid point. Chris Davis, tuning in from YouTube, says, I'm voting go bold. Well, we'll see. Maybe I will for charity. Jonathan Parrott says the kids at work didn't recognise me, said I look rough, dog rough. Martin Dawson says old birds will be in the molt. Young bird losses would be bad if you miss a week. Worst thing you can do is stop and start. And any old birds have the experience, whereas the young have none. Surely it's a no-brainer. Concentrate on young birds if we race. Fair and valid point, Martin. Fair and valid point. Maybe it is just a case of saying no old bird racing and just hopefully if we can focus on young birds. I'm 50-50 on whether any any racing is going to happen this year. But let's hope young birds does. And thank you for tuning in, Martin. Kevin Farrell shelled a lot off. There's a lot of people telling me to go bold. I think it's just because you want to embarrass me and me not to have to mess with my hair. Joshua Wu, welcome Joshua. How are people coping with getting corn around me? A lot is out of stock. Valid point. How is everybody? And this is going to start affecting me soon because I've got pigeons now. How's everybody being affected by corn supplies? Kevin Farrell says everything has a knock effect. I tell you what, and you're right, Kevin. It's just struck me, right? Since we've come back, this is week 2 since us coming back. Why is this? And it's good. The interaction on this show is so much more. There's so many more people commenting. There's so much going on. It's actually busy, really busy on the chat. And that's great. I love it. And thank you to everybody that is busy on the chat. Maybe it's because more people are craving more interaction. I'm not sure. But thank you to everybody that makes it busy. I'm constantly looking between screens at all the comments coming in. And it is a lot busier comments-wise than it used to be. Stephen O'Brien says... Go bold live. We'll see, Stephen. Lorraine Butler says no problem getting corn at the moment. BFJ, Kevin Farrell. BFJ, I don't know where they are open at the moment. Gary Tomlinson says, who dare one loft race is now 940 birds in the loft and all look superb thanks to those who have sent us class youngsters of the perfect age. I was over there with Gary on Friday because I had to pick some pigeons up, which was essential business. And we, of course, kept socially distanced. But I did take a quick video of the new lofts. If you haven't seen that yet, go and tune into the RPI page and you will see it. They look superb. I believe I'm right in saying 220 foot now of loft with the new loft going in at 100 foot. Spot on, and well done to Gary and team. Jonathan Parrott says, if young birds don't race, what will happen next year is I won't have room for more youngsters next year. What do you think about that one, Jonathan? Be positive, just postpone 2 or 3 weeks. Let's hope, Peter. Stephen O'Brien says there'll be a lot of people building new young bird lofts for next season. Maybe, but there's also a lot that haven't got the room for that. They've got what they've got. Cheyenne says, I have been lucky down south in getting corn in 2 weeks ago, and hopefully we'll be getting another 2 weeks. That's something I got to look at because I'm going to need some. Old Bird Racing goes on till September. Look at the BRCC fixtures. Chris Davis says on YouTube, just start up. You're just starting up, Nabby. If you are, let us know. Thank you for joining and coming in. So let me show you where we're at. So phase 1, right? So there's 3 phases to Zandy and I's loft plan. And we last week 80%, not giving him 80, 75% of work was done by Zandy. Phase 1 is just about finished. We've just got some more V perches to put up. Essentially, what it is there's a 15 foot by 12 foot space that we're converting into lofts. And finally, that's started happening, which is great. Phase 1 of that, essentially section 1 of that is done. Phase 2 is to get the other 2 sections done. Phase 3 is to get traps and aviaries on. So yeah, let me show you some. So this is phase 1 coming in. Obviously, the windows. We started putting up the section last week. Obviously, the window is getting pulled out. This was us starting to put everything together. Zandy's been really busy on getting everything done, and we've no longer got any of the rubbish around. It's work in progress. Once it's done, I'll show you it all, but it's work in progress. But basically, we had some pigeons already that was being looked after. A friend of mine's, and they had to come over. So in a way, it forced us to get section 1 sorted. So section 1's happening, and this is what we've got at the moment. Yeah, section 1 just about done. We've just got to get some more V perches in there, and yeah, so that's that. And then, as I say, we've got 2 more sections to go in that, and then we'll get we've got some aviaries that are going to go on the outside. So essentially, it's a brick built. That's where we're going with it. And as I said, Zandy's done 3/4 of the work getting that. And the good thing, one of the few good things about all of this is Zandy's off school, and he's been working hard and getting stuff. He's done some really good stuff, really good. So we've just, I tell you what I've had a major issue in getting a bit of wood. We managed to be able to get wood from Wix's for the framing we did, because we got the Avery panels, but the kickboard we made up to make it higher and stuff. So I've managed to get that, but I need now to get some 8x4 sheets of wood to make the actual section, and I can't fit them in my car. Wix's don't deliver. They do a very efficient pickup service, click and set service, but I've got no way of actually being able to pick the wood up, which is a real pain in the backside. But yeah, I'll keep you posted on that. Though, actually, if I'm honest, those birds that are in there that you saw, they're actually for sale. They're birds I got in a deal last year, and they're for sale. They're not. We're probably going to keep 2 pair of them back, and they're going to be for sale. But once the 3 sections come in, then we're going to start, and I'm going to be battling Zandy wanting to keep everything that he can, and that's not going to happen because we've got limited space and we only want to keep, you know. But yeah, let's see where we're at. Let's see where we are at. 1 second, I'm just looking at comments. Peter Wellington says, I'm in New York. We postponed for 3 weeks. Welcome from New York, Peter. I hope you're safe and well. Joanne Martin Sean Crocker says, lads who are just starting up now, there's going to be a lot of us that will be willing to give out young birds, seeing as so many nobody racing. Absolutely, absolutely. Chris Davis says, looks good, Mark, on YouTube. Looking good, D. McKay. Well done, Zandy. Yeah, he's worked like a trooper, I must admit. This week he's been working hard. Chris Davis, no specific yet, if I'm honest. Zandy has more interest in the sprint. I have an interest in the long distance. My long distance has been my interest. I'm a massive fan of the old breed of Kirkpatricks and stuff, but haven't decided yet, haven't made any plans yet. Essentially what's going to happen is there's going to be an Avery put on the end of that section that I just showed you. Quite a big one, you know, 6 foot wide, 8 foot long. And then there's going to be another section which will be the breeding section, and there's going to be an Avery on that, and then there's going to be another section just for holding birds and splitting birds up. And then there's going to be another shed down the garden for some of the fancy pigeons that Zandy's got that we aren't currently looking after. A friend of mine's looking after them until we get sorted out. But yeah, I haven't decided yet, you know. Very much this is hobby, passion, loft, not any part of my ideas one day to have a commercial stud or anything. This is simply our hobby, passion between he and I, and haven't yet decided. As I say, he likes that. The harsh reality is that the plan was that the plan was going to be that Zandy was going to start racing, and I said to him at the beginning of the year before all this weirdness kicked off, listen mate, GCSE year, going into A levels, I just don't think you're going to have the time to do it properly. And I managed to persuade him that he shouldn't look to race this year, because I just didn't think the time, such a critical year with GCSEs, I didn't think it would be the right thing with him doing it. Weirdly now, of course, he would have had the time, but of course he's got the time because of all of this. So yeah, he's keen on the sprint and I'm keen on the long distance. But if I'm honest, I've said before on videos, I get my passion out of seeing pigeons fly around. You know, I love to see pigeons. I love to be able to sit in the garden, have a cup of tea, and see pigeons fly around. So we'll see. I want some, definitely want some long distance birds. He definitely wants some sprint birds. So we will see. Stephen O'Brien, what size loss will you race from, or is that stock purposes? Not sure yet how we're going to do it. That section there, once sorted, Zandy will probably use that to race young birds out of. And then the other section will be a breeding for stock. And we'll see. We're lucky that we've got an okay sized garden to be able to do aviaries in and stuff like that. So we'll see. John Paloka says, what's your opinion? I have young birds coming from Aberdeen. The carrier is charging me £65. Scotland to Scotland last week. I got birds delivered from England to Scotland, £50. Carriers, walkers, question mark. Yeah, so use walkers is my opinion. It was on my list to say. I spoke to Mark Walker via WhatsApp earlier. Within the UK, mainland UK, walkers are still delivering. All right? Walkers are still delivering. Excuse my little screw up last week. I'm not perfect. And I did say last week, which caused a bit of hassle, they were delivering to Northern Ireland, picking up from Northern Ireland. I did actually say to Mark when I spoke to him on the phone, so you're delivering within UK and NI, they were the words I used. And he said, yes. I don't think he heard me say the NI bit because he was on the road talking hands-free. So I just went ahead and said, walkers are delivering to UK and Ireland. They're not. They are not delivering to NI. They are only delivering to UK and Ireland. Sorry, not delivering to UK and Ireland, only delivering to mainland UK. They are only delivering to the mainland UK. So for the guy that says, thanks, Mark Lyford, get your facts right, misinformation spreading. Listen, mate, I can't remember who you were. It's a free service. I was only trying to help Mark out by telling people and help the flyers out on what's going on. So, you know, things happen. Whatever. Someone always says, if you need corn prices, farm at Kings Bromley on the A38 are delivering corn. Interesting. That is a long way away. The distance from Aberdeen to Glasgow, 150 mile distance from England to my house, 300 miles. What's your question? You mean regarding price or what, John? Let us know on that, and we will look. Let's look on the group chat. Kevin Farrell, you can Google it. BJF Feed, Sheffield, South Yorkshire. Gary Thomason says, who dares wind sharp has a big selection of pigeon food, vitamins and much more. They're in Belper area. Chris Bauer is in saying hi. Susan Lamb, Paul Jowett at the Corn Bin Pigeon Purple shop has plenty of corn in for anybody in the northeast. Thank you for that information. Excuse me. Kevin Farrell says hi, Daryl. Joshua says, nobody in my family drives, so I have to get corn by relying on other people to take me, which I don't like doing. My nan would usually take me, but she can't because she gets stuck in the Irish lockdown. Does anybody know how Joshua can get corn delivered in the Birmingham area? It is Birmingham you are, isn't it, Joshua? Let me know on that. We'll see if we can help you out. Joshua says, is he interested in tumblers still? He is, yeah. He has 9 tumblers, some really nice-looking pigeons that he got from Blackpool. A friend of mine locally is keeping them. A friend of mine keeps Iranian high flyers. He's got some of the best Iranian flyers in the UK. And while we're doing all of this work and stuff on the lofts, he's keeping them for us until we get sorted out. But yeah, I like those fancy pigeons. I'm gonna, as I said, my friend in locally, he keeps Iranian high flyers, and I was over at his and seeing them fly. They're amazing pigeons, stunning looking birds. And we're going to have a little shed down the garden with them, and I'm going to get some of the Iranian high flyers off him as well because they're fascinating little pigeons. Yeah, so does anybody know anywhere that can deliver corn to Joshua, who's a young lad in the Birmingham area? Please let us know. Let's get Joshua helped out with his corn. Mikey Stanton's in. Hello, Mark. He says, Mikey, I did get back to you. I don't know if you saw. I've just started playing catch up. Haven't forgot the page. I'll tell you what I'm going to be doing real quick, guys. I'm going to be putting a page out and listing people that need help. I've had a few people contact me looking for help, right? And the reality is I want to put all them together, put them on a page, and then we'll promote the page so that those people can be helped via that page. So I'm going to be putting this page out and looking to get people help with what they need to get set up and running. That's what we'll do. BFJ will deliver a ton or more. I don't think Joshua needs a ton or more, Kevin. But if anybody knows that he can get some, Joshua can get some pigeon corn delivered in Birmingham, let us know. We will sort it. Right. Let's see what else. Jonathan says, any ideas when the borders are open? I'm not pigeon related. I have a dog to get from Romania. No idea, mate, yet. What dog are you getting from Romania? My Luca's from Romania. Came over in December. Let us know what dog you're getting. Jonathan Parrott says, how much corn does Josh need? Josh, how much corn do you need, mate? Jane Finch says, I'm in Essex. If anybody needs any pigeon corn, let me know. Mikey Stanton, Joshua, ask Feathers Pet Supplies. Might help out, but local to me. I know they do free delivery. Scunthorpe area, Margaret Green, Belton has corn in stock, Kevin Frail says. Stephen O'Brien says, question if possible. Has anybody had problems with yearling widow cocks trying to pair together? Let's get that question answered for Stephen. Sturman's deliver there in the Birmingham area, Martin Dorman. So Sturman's, Joshua. Sturmans deliver in the Birmingham area. How much does corn... We've already answered that. Sorry, I'm repeating myself. How much does corn... Oh, you repeated it. Sorry. How much does corn does Josh need? Lorraine Butler, good idea, Mark. We're all here to help. Indeed we are. Jonathan Parrott says a boxer bitch. Lovely. Lovely dogs. Love boxers. My ex-wife had a boxer, unfortunately. She had put to sleep, but she was a lovely dog. Nice. Whereabouts in Romania you get it from? In the Bucharest area or somewhere else? Yes. Right, listen, we're running out of time here. Richard Chambers has put his video out, his second video. And I wanted to show you. Now, it's a long video. We're not going to have time to show it all. But I wanted to show you a bit of this video. I'm going to show you a bit now. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to post them up onto Facebook so you can watch them. But let me show you this. I was really impressed with this video. I only saw it like half an hour before we started the show. This is the second week. Remember I mentioned about Richard Chambers' new initiative to get people talking and interacting and social. People send in their videos. And I want to really promote what Richard's doing. And that's what I'm going to do. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you a little bit of it now. It's too long to show on the whole show, but I'm going to show it you now, and then I'm going to share the video out, this week's video and last week's video, some really cracking stuff. And there's a funny bit in the second video today that actually did make me laugh out loud. Before I do that, I missed a message from John. John says, the distance from Aberdeen to Glasgow is 150 mile. Distance from England to your house is 300 miles. The reason for that, John, is that all of the pigeons, I believe, I might be wrong, but I'm sure they're right, all of the pigeons come back to Birmingham and then go back out for distribution. That's the reason, I believe. Let me show you this video from...
Hey everyone, Richard Chambers here for week 2 of our videos that we're making for people whilst we're on lockdown. It's been absolutely great to see so many people send me videos this week. I'm not going to be able to get everyone's in, but I promise you over the next couple of weeks you'll definitely feature on the videos. We've got a new feature as well with a old friend of mine called Mick. You'll love to see that and some of the crazy ideas that he's got, but they're really good actually, and I'm definitely going to use this week's one whilst we're in isolation. So please sit back, enjoy the videos, and I will see you at the end.
Afternoon everyone. So I've not done a video for a few days. No doubt hundreds of you are waiting expectantly for the next update. So thought I'd do a quick vid this afternoon to show you having their first bath. I think they've been desperate for it, to be honest, watching them.
Mama said, fulfill the prophecy, be something great. Go make a legacy, manifest destiny. Back in the days we wanted everything, wanted everything. Mama said, burn your biographies, rewrite your history, light up your wildest dreams, museum.
But as you can see, I got 30 peepo boxes on the back here. So these peepo boxes have sections that will lift and slide and make one large section, or one large box if you like, one large box. So as I say, 30 of those, and then a few of these purchased off the
Always had high hopes, had to have high hopes for a living. Didn't know how, always had a feeling I was gonna be that one in a million. Always had high hopes. Mama said, something for oddities, stranger crusade.
And then moving through into the final, there is a slot on the inside for.
Simply because my daft sister is at home. She's on a bike, but the bike don't move. After 1 hour, she's still in the same bloody place. It's lost her. Then I guess I'm going rowing. There's no water, and she's still in the same bloody place. And the blame's the virus for it. But I've still got to get these done. So what we've done, we have got a sock where we cut the toes out, and we fed the pigeon through to stop him flapping about. That's all it is. And you get rid of that bumblebee. So there you have a pigeon with his head sticking out of a sock. You might think it's funny.
I love that.
Now we've got everything. There you go. Don't cry, little one. It won't hurt. That's if you don't move. Right. Then it's a simple case of putting bed down in between the legs, getting needle, pulling head back, and there you have it. Okay. Then you put him in with the rest of the little shits.
amazing is this video? This amazing video. I want to know who did this because it's stunning.
Fast enough to ever fly away. And I feel that I be somebody. I'd rather be. It's easy to see why I feel so high.
Transfer because the files are normally too big. Another way you can do it is by clicking on the link below and send me them via Facebook via a private message. The link again and the website is just underneath, so just click that and send them to me. I really hope you've enjoyed this video.
So there you go, folks. Now that was me skipping through it because it's quite a while. It's quite a long one, but I'm going to share that video full so you can see it in full on Richard's timeline. I'm going to share last week's video as well that we missed. But every week we're going to feature those, and then I'll put the full video link in the thing afterwards so you can watch the full video. But amazing. And that's the spirit we want. Let's get them videos to Richard. He's got a backlog at the moment, but every video you submit, as long as it's child friendly and you know it's all good, he's going to submit. I'll put the video links, I'll put the links to them on Facebook so you can see them all. But that's what we need. Let's get some. I love that video. That last part of that video, amazing. That's what we need. And I'll tell you what I got. I got a plan to do to put a video together promoting racing pigeons, specifically for the UK. And I'd love to be able to put a promo video for the mainstream media together. It's one of the things I'm going to do at some point. So yeah, it's good. Really, really well done. So Joshua said, yeah, he forgot Sturman's deliver, so he's going to give them a call today. That's that. We've got Joshua sorted out with his corn all being well. Stephen Morgan says, socks for vaccinations I've used large, dog food, tyres in the past. It's in New York. They have an old war boat full of pigeons with lights. They're amazing. Seen it on YouTube. I'm going to have to check that out, Joshua. That's absolutely amazing. John says, is there anyone coming from Aberdeen this week or next that would bring 10 birds down to the Lanarkshire area? Let John know if you can, of course. Delivering, keeping social distancing going if you can help John out. Where do we see the first week's video? It's on Richard Chambers' timeline, but I'm going to post a link to it. As soon as I finish this show, I'm going to have a quick bite to eat because I've not eaten, and then I'll get the video links posted up there. John Palokas' number, if anybody can help John get birds down from Aberdeen to Lanarkshire, 07551 891 312. 07551 891 312 to help John out with that. That's all we need to hear from Cheyenne Martin, Sean Crocker, Laugh Out Loud, Chris Davis on YouTube, brilliant. Cheyenne says, love to see the whole video. Like I said, I'll post a link to it after. Well done, fantastic. Everyone submitting. Dean McKee says. Cheyenne says, Mark, are you still going to do small backyard visits? Yes, absolutely. Before lockdown happened, I said I wanted to do it. I want to do small loft visits. I'm not just about featuring the big guys. Like I've said before, the big guys are the ones inviting me. I only go anywhere I'm invited, but I want to do small backyard loft visits. When we can, when this whole weird situation allows us, I want to do them. If you're a small backyard flyer and you want to be featured on RPI TV, let me know. I would love to feature you. Who else have we got? Lou Daniel, C. Radu Gabriel Pigeons Laugh says, hey Mark, stay at home. Indeed I am. Apart from walking the dogs, that's all I'm doing, and food shopping. Steve Morgan says, Tins Laugh Out Loud. So yeah, there we are. We've had a good show. Busy show again. Thank you to everybody that's contributed. I love it. I really do love. We've got that many people talking on there now. It's really good to have. I'm glad to be back. I love doing this show. I really do. If I'm honest, as I say, it's been busy, stressful times for me here. But I love doing this because it's nice to get everybody talking. And again, I've said it before, if you want to get involved with what we're doing in RPI, let me know. I need more people to get involved with what we're doing, you know. Lou says, in the small loft is the big selection. What do you mean, mate? Let me know what you mean, Lou. Hair's grown during the show. It seems to have done, Simon. We're going to have to see what we're going to do about that. Right, a couple of other mentions. I'm going to do a poll. John Palokas, many thanks. No worries, mate. We'll see what we can do to help you out. I'm going to do a poll about racing young birds, whether they can go into yearlings and not be raced. I'm going to do a poll about that. Remember, go and join the Facebook group, the RPI Facebook group, RPI. We have nearly 8,000 members, facebook.com/groups/Racing Pigeon International. If you haven't liked the Racing Pigeon page on Facebook yet, please go and do so. That's the main source of information, everything pigeon related, facebook.com/Racing Pigeon International. If you want to add me on my personal Facebook profile, it's dead simple, facebook.com/Marquis, MARKY, Lyford. Facebook.com/Marquis Lyford. Warning there though, I talk about other non-pigeon related stuff as well. So if you only want to hear about pigeon stuff, go to facebook.com/Racing Pigeon International, the Facebook page, like that, and you will only hear about pigeon stuff. If you want to add me on my profile, my personal profile, that's absolutely fine, but be prepared. I have some people moaning we don't want to hear about anything other than pigeon stuff. It's my personal Facebook profile. I've got about 1,000 friends left on my capacity of 5,000, but I do talk about other stuff. I talk about life, business, my other business, all kinds of other stuff. So if you only want to hear about pigeon stuff, go to the RPI page and group. What else have we got to quickly mention? You have the chance. I've launched a syndicate. I haven't had time to properly push it yet, but I launched a syndicate which I'm going to be promoting for the Who Dares Wins race. It's a 30-bird syndicate. The syndicate is run by me, nothing to do with Gary. Gary bred the birds for me, but that is as far as it goes with Gary's involvement. It's an external syndicate that I am running, and I'm selling every syndicate spot away. So we have got a 30-bird syndicate, right? And you can buy a spot on the syndicate. There's 100 spots. You can buy a spot on the syndicate for just £50. You can buy as many spots as you want. Somebody's bought 10 spots. So they were going to potentially get a team. Instead of getting a 3-bird team, they've put £500, 10 spots into the syndicate, and they've got an interest in 30 birds. I'm going to be doing a promotion video about it. The 30-bird syndicate means that for just £50, you've got interest in a syndicate that's got 30 birds in it. And all 30 birds are part of that syndicate. So for just £50, you've got an interest in the Who Dares Wins race with 30-bird team this year. If you want to go and check that out, go to racingpigioninternational.com/shop, and you can go and get your spot for £50 on there. And as I say, all 30 birds bred by Gary. Those that you know Gary know what the birds he's got and how they performed in the past, and you can get your spot in the syndicate from just £50. So £50 buys you an interest in a 30-bird team this year. Remember, first prize, £40,000 guaranteed, £100,000 prize money. Right, what else have we got? Jason McCarthy, will you be covering the Who Dares Wins hotspot races? I will be covering one live, assuming I can, and the rest I will be covering virtually. I'll be covering the so what I mean by that is I covered, like the RPRA race, I covered virtually last year. There was hotspots. So I'll be covering the landing board trap. I'll be covering the results, and you'll be able to see it all on your screen. But I will, all being well, be covering one hotspot race live, and of course the final live as well. Jonathan Parrott, do you need any more birds put into the syndicate? No, mate. I've got 30-bird team already done, already in the loft, already happy and settled. So, but thank you. I would love, by the way, just go to racingpigioninternational.com/shop if you would like to get one of them. There's 88 spaces left. first come, first serve. And I'll be putting out various things to keep people involved and know what's going on. And of course, remember this: that if you get an interest in the 30 Bird Syndicate, you'll be able to download the app for Benzing Live, and you'll be able to see exactly when any of your 30 birds is part of the syndicate come in, and you'll be able to see instantly when they come back from training and hotspots, races, and of course the final as well. So go and check that out on racingpigeon.com/shop. You can also get the online DVD version of the Widowhood video that Gary did as well on the shop. I've had people asking me about merchandise. I haven't yet got it sorted, but I promise I will as soon as I can, so you can get RPI merchandise as well. I would love one last thing. As I said earlier, for those of you who missed it, we've in phase 1 of building our lofts now, converting a brick-built building. I would love your opinions on what birds you think we should house. Like I said earlier, Zandy, my son, is interested in sprint. I'm interested in the long distance. That's my always been my passion since I was a kid. So I would love opinions on what you think we should get. Obviously, we will ultimately have to have some of each. Alan Larkin says, sounds great, Mark. Hope all is well. It is. Thank you, Alan, for tuning in. Jason McCarthy says, thanks, pal. Good job. Thank you, Jason. So, yeah, I would love your opinions on what breeds of birds and what strains of birds and what we should get. Zandy's been offered pigeons, and I'm sure that's going to still happen, but I would love any thoughts on that. Right. Thank you, folks, for everybody watching. It's been a really good show. I've enjoyed doing it, and thank you to everybody that's joined. I will post those links to those videos later on, and any other links I've got for you in the chat. As I say, I will be doing some impromptu Facebook Lives and YouTubes over the course of the next week before the next show. And again, thank you for watching. Be safe, folks. Stick to the government plan that people want you to do. And if you do have to go out, remember that social distancing that we all have to do. And use the time to enjoy the pigeons. If you want anything, you need anything, let me know. As I said, I am catching up on my Facebook. My goal is, before I call it a night tonight and actually go to sleep, to be caught up completely on Facebook. But moving forward, Facebook is not the best way of getting hold of me. I just cannot keep up all the time, and there is a delay. The best way of getting hold of me is to WhatsApp or text me on 07887 345 600. 07887 345 600. That's the best way of getting hold of me. WhatsApp or text me. You will get an answer a lot quicker than you will normally on Facebook. I am, because of the changes I've had with the Facebook and the one profile and all that stuff, Racing Pigeon International page will get priority. So if you want to contact me, anything to do with RPI and pigeons in general, if you message the RPI page, that will get the priority. Steve Morgan says, where's that comment gone? Don't know, that disappeared on me. Guys, I'm going to call it a night, get something to eat. Thank you for everybody watching. Great show. Thank you for your participation, and I will see you back here next week, 8 o'clock, here on RPI Live. Thanks for watching. Be safe. Catch you soon. Have a good rest of your night.